I've officially been in LA for 1 year. That means my freshman year of the real world is now over. My last freshman year ever. And over the past year, my outlook and everything has really been changed around. And here's why. For starters, I used to pump out videos like it was nothing. I used to make at least 2 short films a year. I was working on marketing videos. I would be able to make a short film on a weekend if I wanted to. Everything just kind of was easy to make when I was in college. It was a lot of free labor. Now in LA, everything's different. You have to pay people day rates if you're making a production. And if you're not, then you're really pulling a favor. Another reason is people aren't in the close proximity that they are in college. It's a big deal to have to drive out anywhere and be in a production. And to give up a day might mean giving up a day of work. So really, every production here is a much bigger deal. It's much more difficult to get a project off the ground. Another reason, and this has actually been a big factor in how I've looked at my stuff, is when people look at your work, they don't generally look for story. The first thing that'll tell them whether or not they want to keep watching is the production value. And looking back at my work, if I want to show someone something to impress them, I only have a handful of things I can show them. I only have a couple short films that lives up to something that could be played to impress somebody. So what does that mean? Well, in the past, I was so focused on pumping out projects to prove that I can keep making them. But now I have to change. I can't just make a project for the sake of making a project. If I make a project, it has to be the best one I've ever made. And if it's not, then I'm kind of wasting my time and everyone's time that's involved. And it's kind of just a different mindset to be in. I've been down here, as I said, for a year, and right off the bat, I tried to keep up my production. I made Harry Potter alternate ending, I made Star Wars Blu-ray all new scenes, 2 web videos that I tried to make to build in kind of audience, neither of which went viral, which is understandable. So this took a lot out of me because at the time I was working full-time editing and I would have to do that stuff on my free time, on the off time. And those were fun, but they were just for fun. They weren't meant to be anything that kind of showcased the best of what I can do. So springtime rolled around and I had a bunch of productions I wanted to make, but one in particular was going to be made no matter what. And this one was, one of my friends, Alexandra, was putting together a group of actors who all wanted SAG eligibility. Now there's a couple ways you can get that. One is having a speaking role in a union film. The other way is to be in a web series, which is a union web series, and that just means having a SAG actor in it. So because she knew a SAG actor, actually lived with one, she got together a group of people, brought me on board, and we decided to make this web series about a bunch of foreigners living together, which is actually what all of them were, foreigners living together. We had Adam, who's the Australian, put together a script, and all together all of us kind of collaborated and made this project possible. That web series actually is titled Fresh Off the Plane. Going into this series, I was just going to be making another thing, but building up to it, my DP, Rich, told me you had a possibility of being a red epic, and so we decided to go all out with the production, and we did. So going from Harry Potter, alternate ending, which was just skeleton crew, and I directed, edited, acted, wrote in it, did special effects, to Fresh Off the Plane, where all I did was direct and produce. It's a big change, and it's kind of the way that I'm going to be going from now on.
Cheers. To Angela Davis.
So here we are months down the line. It's actually almost early September and the web series is just finishing up next week. And that's kind of a showcase. We wanted to do it right. And when it gets up online, it's going to be spotless and it's going to be the best thing that we all could make. And coming up right after it's finished is actually a music video called With You Now that my friend Daniel Eldridge and I have been working on since June. And we were able to successfully fund the Kickstarter campaign thanks to all of you guys. But actually not all of you. Only some of you. And this is another production that I'm going all out on. And so I guess the change is, as opposed to trying to do as many projects as possible, now I'm focused on making every single project I make the best thing it could possibly be. Over this year, I've kind of had that progression. And you might have noticed I haven't been releasing things as frequently as I was the last year. And now here we are, and I'm fully focused on quality over quantity now. So, from now on, for the rest of time, every project I release is going to be a project that is to the best of my ability. Thanks to this year in LA, I have completely changed my outlook on filmmaking, and I know that it's definitely for the better. So from now on, quality over quantity. Except when it comes to videologs, apparently.